welcome back. We're here, we're watching some more Long Riders. If the 160-kilometer journey wasn't good enough for you, well, I'm sure there's plenty more in her future. Trying to take part in that leash and all the rest. The fact that she's barely begun on her riding life. Just how many more ups and downs is she going to take? And is she going to feel defeat at any point? Have the love of riding taken away from her? Or motivation stripped down? With how the show is structured, and I don't believe so. We're here till the bitter end. She loves it far too much. But now we have actually finished that event, and not that many episodes left. How and what is going to be... well, what is going to be shown? How much more is she going to do? Let's see. Actually just going back and experiencing school again once in a while. I have mentioned it before, but I do like that it is more college-based. I mean, try and speak your mind. She's definitely trying her hardest to get into that conversation there. It probably will turn out to be a very one-sided conversation where you're just talking about her likes and the adventure she went on. Are you going to leave out the bit where she was distraught for a moment and how they almost didn't finish in time? Well, I guess you'll have to wait until next time. Still, if she is getting interested and intrigued into the whole cycling deal as well, the team will grow. I wonder how many it will end up with. How many people are going to get that cycling bug by the end of it? And or the distance they'll be riding by the time they get more people in. Will they have to go back to the early days and slow ascent on picking up stamina and getting ready for the longer things? If they do bring in someone new now, it's like, well, we're practicing for that flesh thing, but no flesh. Flesh just sounds weird. But sure, we can do on some normal small bike riding, I guess. I see that pretty much everyone else in the cafeteria and everything have incredibly normal haircuts. I wonder if they're not main characters. I mean, said it in a very calming and non-confrontational way, but still. How many bowls and dishes? The fact that it's a practice ride that's even worse. How are they going to try and convince her to take a grueling course in this practice? Here's a fish. She's speaking very much truthfully there. The more she puts off and doesn't practice, it'd be a shock to the system when she actually does full on for a long, long distance. 1200? I mean, it will take a while. I wonder if there's stop-offs and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to complete it in one day, Jesus. If you want a lane, you've got to ride faster. I mean, I'd be flat out until I reach the bed. I mean, no one said it was going to be easy, considering all the things that she's been through so far. Just a little's fine. They are real taskmasters. They're not going to let get away with this easily, are they? I think yes. I think slowly building up to it would probably be best for her, especially not only because you think she's kind, but it just means that they're getting what they want. Her doing some practice and riding more. A night ride? Oh, I thought she was going to be staunchly against it, but apparently very gung ho. Here's my thoughts on it. Night driving in a car, absolutely hate it. On a bike, I actually think that's quite good. Plus, now it gets to teach us a bit about the safety of night riding. Are they going to wear the high-vis jackets and patches and the like? The reflective lights? Did I say reflective lights? I mean the reflective strips that you can have down on your down the clothing. And what is her mother and sister going to think about going out at night while they sleep? However, now that you've got a group that you can consistently ride with, has she? Yeah, she was solo only, really. They're each of their respective lives have grown so much brighter since she came into it. Does it mean more purchasing? Hmm? What was the mischievous grin for? That was some janky-ish, but not too bad 3D work. I mean, you're riding at night and haven't even thought about lights? Good thing that they've got one for her. I mean, that's what I was talking about. But how does one not heard of a reflective vest? What was the face just there? Against the ocean at night. Well, she knows a little bit of geography to know that that's quite a ride. Which means you'll just have to ride back, right? Oh, the first trains. So they've taken how long they'll be riding for into account. Is she going to retract her statement about her being nice? Has she stayed up all night and all day in excitement for this one? In case she falls asleep. Also, where? I know we were told she's staying behind to get ready, but when Aoi does turn up, in what form would it be? Ah, there's no hill climbs. Her dreaded adversary. She does not trust anything there. I think you've sold her on the idea. See, she's very reward driven, isn't she? Maybe a little over prepared there. Yeah, there's one who didn't even think about lights, and then there's one with one that can turn the very street back into day. Straight legs. But the thing is, that many lights on it wouldn't really add too much weight, more none less than like carrying lunch. There you go. I mean, having light directly in front of you wherever you're predominantly looking, what could go wrong? Public nuisance. I mean, that's why on cars you have the high beams. You don't need to turn it all on directly, especially when you're behind people. She's going to be contemplating that for a while, isn't she? Yeah. I think about 80 kilometers in, then she'll stop thinking about being a nuisance. One a.m. Oh no, so early. I mean, I do not believe that she would be out here by herself if it wasn't for all of those around her. Would she have ever had the thought of doing a night ride if she was still just riding on a punter? Eyes on the road though. You don't want to get too distracted. I guess the cooler night air would also do wonders for. Ah, you lied. You said it was flat. I mean, you couldn't expect that the entire way was going to be flat. As a whole. Well, her eyes there were shifting across the face. And now we're in the downhill portion where everyone else has zoomed off in front and. No street lights, no headlamp, at least on the helmet. Her visibility has been reduced to a few meters in front of her. Yeah, maybe slow down a little. We were told stories before of someone going arse over tit into foliage. And she is now rattled. Maybe a night ride with no preparation wasn't a great idea. Yeah. Just, was it her screaming or the snap of this twig? Maybe go. Maybe focus more on the fact you can't see because you have no lights than just scared of the dark. Does she have spare batteries? I guess adding batteries to your pack wouldn't exactly add too much weight. Congratulations, you have now learned the basics of how light works. She would be screwed. Also, but why was she so far behind that it took like a minute or so for her to catch up to help replace the battery? Yeah. She's lost in her own little world, though, isn't she? Yes. Yes, you are. Immediately. Oh, nothing? Okay. She can. She can levy out half of her nuisance. They can share the burden. But also, the fact that she sprung into action at the first sign when she was like, oh, my lights went out. Now she won't be a nuisance per se, but essential. Back to the beginning, really, when it was just those two enjoying the benefits of just a normal ride together. Even if the one is a little further. Is this more bending of the truth, or actually downhill from here? I mean, yeah, just look over the side. I don't think she should have to be told to look at the sunrise. It should be quite evident with, well, the sky and the light. But we've seen that she struggles with light in this episode. Yeah. It has been a. Well, no, it hasn't. I was going to say it's been a long time since I've seen a sunrise, but no, it's. I've stayed up late enough that it has become day several times, so. Almost poetic when they put it like that. It is. She's experienced a lot, and thanks to them pushing her along and not letting her stop. And I think not only the sunrise, but that attitude is why they continue cycling. Having someone join in and feel that way about it. A huge success with only minor dangers to your life. Yeah, their body clocks are going to be a little off for a while. Hmm. All the bits crossed off, and the ones that she's still left to go. It is far too, well, happy-go-lucky for one, but actually just seeing someone enjoy themselves to this extent, even if it is vicariously through watching this show, why am I feeling happy for her? It's not like I'm invested in cycling. But I wonder when the time is that the school friend is going to work up the courage to actually ask properly and not be interrupted. The universe is not on her side whenever she tries raising her interests. I like this episode. Without the pressure of a time crunch, being able to just enjoy the journey, even if it is at night without any lights. I'm glad that she took the safety lesson to heart, but maybe the remembering of the time that Saki flew over the railing and almost died put a little bit of peril and terror into her. But I'm surprised that they didn't make her stop off at the alpaca store again. Because, well, they love showing all the new bits and pieces, the equipment you can attach onto a bike, and then her face when she sees the sum total of what it's going to cost. Although maybe they knew that if they kept pushing like that, she might lose a little motivation. But God, thinking of her trying to do a 1,200-kilometer ride stretched over several days, just 4 days straight, apart from sleeping time, of riding. Yeah, you have a certain level of commitment to put yourself through that, even if you do enjoy the sights and your company. But I guess also the whole look what I managed to accomplish moment. I might outstrip pretty much all the suffering that you go on, that you be under. I know for more than certain that if I suddenly took up cycling and joined one of those long distance treks and whatnot, no one would believe I did. Absolutely no one. Maybe that's more telling of me than them. But I do think that the riding by moonlight, even if she did have a single headlamp on the front of the bike, wouldn't have been too bad if it wasn't also overcast by all the trees. And maybe once her eyes start to adjust slightly, wouldn't be too bad, but so scary. Maybe I'm just too foolhardy in thinking, stay over the side a bit, even if you're on the wrong side of the road and if there's a car coming. Might be better than crunch. But I guess that's a lesson, isn't it? Everyone should take care. Keep safe more than anything else. And make sure you can actually see what you're doing. If you've been bitten by the cycling bug and thought about taking this up yourself, I want to know, because there are definitely shows which have piqued my interest in certain things, and the thought of actually getting a bike has crossed my mind. Not for racing or vast journeys, but just for day-to-day stuff where I don't want to drive. If it's only down the road. But yeah, I don't think you'll be seeing me in all the whole Lycra gear and all that. As much as I'm sure several of you might want to. Yes, I'm talking about you, David. But still, if you have enjoyed this episode, please let me know. If things are... If you would like to see the sun rise with a bunch of like-minded friends, no matter what it is you're doing at the time, what's stopping you? Luckily, I can just live it vicariously by watching it through some anime. Might be the best choice, but still, I don't have friends, so... If you enjoyed this one, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing if you don't want to miss out. But for now, get yourselves a bit of rest. Got plenty of road to go down. We've got plenty of road to go down yet. So I'll see you in the next one.